Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Esoteric. I got a super fun, super exciting, and absolutely mind-blowing episode for you guys this evening as we're playing the newly released demake of Megaman X8. The wildest part about this is it's a complete demake of the original game made by one developer, Alysson da Paz. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. I try to do my best. I've been watching the development of this and it just released about 4 to 5 days ago. I instantaneously loaded it up and I was blown away by just how incredible this game truly is. If Capcom was to give us a new Mega Man game, it would probably be the quality that you're seeing here, and the idea that this was made by one person only is even that much more mind-blowing. Before we get too far involved, though, to be a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. If you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, I have a Patreon link down below as well. But this is just the type of stuff I absolutely love to cover and absolutely love to see. Because while Mega Man X8 was a fun game, I would say graphically it's never been my favorite in the entire franchise. But you tell me down below what your favorite Mega Man game is visual-wise. I would probably say X4 on Sega Saturn does it for me. But really, this is just a love letter to the Mega Man franchise and this game in particular. It takes the entirety of X8, all of the levels, all of the bosses, all of the story, and devolves them down into 16-bit graphics. And I will say this is an 11 out of 10 when it comes to the actual visuals here. There's not a single stray pixel, there's not a single thing on the screen that I could comment on to be anything other than absolutely positive. This just looks beautiful, and I love that it is in 16:9 as well. Gives it a really nice look, and you can kind of see a little bit further ahead than you normally would on a 2D Mega Man game being in 4:3. And there's so much to see and do here. This is the entirety of X8 just completely remade, and that is just such a massive amount of work. Taking the entire game and remaking it as a single person, changing up the graphical style, changing up everything about it, but still maintaining the same fun factor. I would probably say this compared to actual X8, I prefer this version now 100% of the time, and that is high praise because again, this isn't something that was made by Capcom, even though it 100% looks like something that could have been done by them. This is a fan game, and I've covered a lot of fan games recently on the channel, but the demake of X8 is now got my seal of approval for probably being the most impressive thing I've seen in 2024 on the fan game front. I have not played anything else that rivals this as far as the sheer amount of polish and just impressive nature of it, even when you don't take into account the fact that this was done by one human being. And of course it is still Mega Man, so you know you're going to get that challenge, you're going to get the fun platforming, you're going to get everything you would expect out of a game like X8, just with a completely new visual style. And that to me is just a good time, and it makes me really want Capcom to come back and do this again in a 16-bit style. But you'll see there I did take my first death. This is still Mega Man. There's going to be a lot of pits and pratfalls that you can fall into. This game pulls no punches on the difficulty, but it's going to be as fair as the original game would be, which is to say you're definitely going to have to practice if you want to see the credits scroll, but you're going to want to play and get better at the game so you can actually beat this. And just like the original X8, there's going to be a ton of hidden things that you can kind of traverse around and find at your leisure. And that's the best part about these Mega Man games. Even though it's a linear path from left to right for the most part to get to the next Robot Master, there's a lot of different things hidden in this game. But just take a look at the frames of animation on this robot in front of us. It's absolutely glorious. This water effect, all of the different sprites you're seeing, the backgrounds, just look 100% amazing. Tell me down below what you think, but really, again, there's nothing about this that makes me think it wasn't done by a professional team of like 10 to 12 people developing a new 2D Mega Man game for Capcom. But the idea that one single individual did all of this makes it all that more impressive. Even the details like that fine waterfall in the background coming down from the tower, it just has such lush animations. Every single inch of the screen is filled with details, and that is just so amazing to see. And like I said, the best part is it's married to the Mega Man structure, and you know if you're watching this channel, you're probably as big a fan of that as I am. Because I've been playing Mega Man basically my entire life, and I've been craving a new Mega Man game recently, and the demake of X8 is that new game for me. It feels familiar yet completely different and unique at the same time, and that's what you want out of a modern reimagining of a game, to be both familiar and new. And the soundtrack is absolutely outstanding as well, so go ahead and listen for 45 seconds and I'll come back and show you a lot more of the demake of X8. But enjoy! And I took another death there, and that's going to happen to you more often than not in the game, but it's always going to be that you misread the screen. There's no cheap deaths in this conversion, it's just whether or not you're actually able to identify what's in front of you. And of course, not having played X8 for some years now, I don't have a photographic memory of the game. It is going to be a learning experience, but learn I definitely will, because I'm going to definitely play this game from start to finish and watch the credits scroll, because this is just the type of stuff I love. There was absolutely no need to do a demake for X8. We had the original game, it was a fun time. No one had to go in and make a new version of this. But that's what people love to do. They love to take projects that are their favorite games around and just do something new and unique with them. And again, I never loved the graphical stylings of X8. I prefer the 2D backgrounds and the sprites. I think Mega Man maybe should have never gone into the 3D realm outside of the Legends games. So getting something like this is just so much fun. And you'll see the parallax scrolling here again. It has such a great illusion of depth in whatever engine they're using. I actually don't know, so if you know, leave me a comment down below. But this basically feels like if 3D was never invented, and if modern systems just use pure 2D still. There's so much to see, so much to do, so much to experience, and now you get to do it all over again in a completely different visual style, and that is a ton of fun. And again, I've been having so much fun covering these fan games on the channel, so if you ever see anything new that maybe I've missed, just leave me a comment or connect to me on Twitter or Discord and tell me about it. Odds are if it's fun, I'll definitely make a video, because I love celebrating everything that is modern in retro gaming. Because even though this game came out for this new version in 2024, it feels like something that could have come out in 1996 outside of the widescreen aspect ratio, which you didn't really see much of until we got into further console generations. And this boss fight here with this gigantic sprite, it is absolutely gorgeous. There was nothing I would change about this whatsoever. The boss fight mechanics are intact, the challenge is still there, but now you have this massive screen-filling sprite with all of these frames of animation trying to attack you versus the original graphical style of X8. And if that isn't impressive, I honestly don't know what would impress you. And again, I can't believe this is done by just one person. This seems like the type of thing that would take a team years to complete, but you have it here from one individual, and that just shows you how much they actually love something like Mega Man, because this is not a small amount of work. Not only is the programming spot on and the gameplay perfect, but clearly their artistic stylings and ability to actually create 2D art is absolutely at the top of their game. They should 100% be working for a real video game development studio if they already aren't, and I don't look into many of the backgrounds of the modders. I love talking about the projects, but honestly, who the people are that make these things secondary to their actual work. So if they do work for a development studio, maybe they do, I just wouldn't know. But all of the platforming here is super tight and super concise, and of course, because it is a Mega Man game, it's also super difficult. So all of the latency in the controls, all of the control inputs in and of themselves 100% work here. If you die in any of these areas, it's because you didn't push the right button at the right time. The game is never going to fight you or make you struggle with anything outside of the level layout, which is always a little bit challenging for a Mega Man game, but that's why people love to play these games in the first place. The 16 and 32-bit era just had challenges that hit differently, and here in Mega Man X8 that challenge is intact, and if you didn't love the original game, trust me, play this demake. It might become your new favorite Mega Man game of all time. But one more soundtrack sample because I love it. I mean, this game is absolutely the total package. It has beautiful animations, amazing sprites, great 2D visuals, parallax scrolling, so many fun levels, so many fun mechanics, and it takes the entirety of X8 and turns it upside on its head and converts it into something completely different that you would never expect. And trust me, these robots here take a little bit of getting used to, but you'll get there. This is just one of the coolest things I've ever seen, probably in my 7 years of actually doing this channel, because again, this was made by one person, and this is the type of thing that development studios out there would be jealous if they could actually make it. And I'm not saying that fans are better at making games than real development studios. I'm just saying if this was on your resume and you made it for your job, you would take that credential and you would show it to every potential employer in the future and say, if I can make this, I can make anything. So definitely go look it up. It's the Megaman X8 Demake, and I can't recommend you play it enough. Run, don't walk, grab the files, play it, and start enjoying maybe the best new Mega Man game that we've seen in some years. But short of that, we are done. Leave your comment down below, and if you have any questions, I'll try to reply to each and every one of them. But otherwise, this is just amazing. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.